Welcome to Foundational Frameworks, Drug Approval Pathways, Comparative Review. Drug approval pathways are essential framework regulating the evaluation, validation, and marketing of new medications worldwide. The United States and European Union maintain distinct pathways with shared goals of ensuring drug safety and efficacy but differ in terms of workflows, regulatory bodies, and timelines. This lecture focuses on two critical pathways: new drug application in the US, marketing authorization applications in the European Union. These pathways are fundamental in clinical and regulatory affairs and require a nuanced understanding for effective submission and compliance efforts. Objectives: to review the US NDA and EU MAA pathway for drug approvals, to compare workflows, required dossiers, and timelines, to learn practical strategies to address differences between these pathways, to gain mastery in applying these regulatory concepts to clients or global markets. A company submitting an NDA to the US FDA for a new anti-diabetic drug. Simultaneously, it files a centralized MAA to the European Medicines Agency to seek market authorization across European Union. Basics of drug approval pathways. What is the NDA or new drug application? The NDA is a standard pathway for a drug approval in the US. It is submitted to the FDA to demonstrate a drug's safety, efficacy, and its quality. Key objectives: to verify clinical trial data to confirm the drug's effectiveness, to assess the risk to benefit ratio, and to ensure manufacturing standards they meet good manufacturing practices. For example, an oncology drug undergoing phase 3 trials submits its phase 1 to phase 3 data, CMC documentation, and labeling requirements to the FDA as part of the NDA. What is MAA or Marketing Authorization Application? The MAA is the European Union equivalent of the NDA. It is submitted to the European Medicines Agency or national regulatory agencies to market a drug within European Union member states. Key characteristics: a single application can lead to marketing authorization across all European Union countries through the centralized procedure. Alternative pathways include mutual recognition, national and decentralized procedures based on the product type and intended markets. For example, a biologic targeting rheumatoid arthritis is submitted through the EMA's centralized MAA process, granting authorization in all 27 European Union member states, plus Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein. Key differences between the NDA and MAA. Regulatory bodies. The US requires NDA. It is regulated by the FDA, including subdivisions like the CDER, or Center for Drug Evaluation and Research for small molecule drugs, and the CBER, or Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research. European Union MAA, managed by the European Medicines Agencies with coordination by the Committee for Medicinal Products for Human Use. For a monoclonal antibody, submission falls under FDA's CBER in the US and EMA's CHMP in the EU. Dossier requirements. Both pathways require data categorized as CTD or Common Technical Document modules, but specific elements differ. The US NDA CTD modules is Module 1 is region-specific, user fees, labeling, etc. Modules 2 to 5 are harmonized globally and include summaries, manufacturing, preclinical and clinical data. The European Union MAA or CTD modules. Module 1 differs for the European Union with specific format requirements for the EU SMPC or Summary of Product Characteristics. For example, US labeling requirements include medication guides, while EU SMPC requires patient-friendly package leaflets. Timelines. The US NDA standard review timeline is 10 months for standard submissions and 6 months for priority reviews, example, orphan drugs. For the EU, CHMP review lasts approximately 210 days, which is around 7 months, plus some time for additional clarifications. Understanding these timelines ensures synchronized submissions for global launches. Approval pathways. NDA pathways: fast track, breakthrough therapy, accelerated approval. MAA pathways: centralized procedure required for orphan drugs, biologics, decentralized or national procedures for targeted European Union markets. So a company launching a rare disease treatment may pursue the centralized procedure in the European Union and an accelerated approval to the US FDA. Some challenges and strategies. Regulatory nuances, difference in dossier formats, reporting standards, and compliance protocols. Whereas when the EU requires PAES, post-authorization efficacy studies, FDA typically mandates phase 4 trials. Parallel reviews. Organizations often struggle to manage simultaneous NDA and MAA submissions. Timelines for supplementary reviews, variances in requests for information deadlines can delay approvals. Mitigation strategies to develop region-specific regulatory templates, to maintain detailed tracking systems to monitor regulatory timelines, and to implement cross-regional workshops to align teams on dossier preparation. Mastery tips. Cross-functional collaboration between regulatory affairs, clinical R&D, and market access teams creates efficient workflows for parallel submissions.